Ice Spiders is the good kind of bad. The bad that I love to death. I've watched this film probably 5 times, and only the 5th time did the humor kind of wear off.
What about Doc? Doc Summers, you ever seen her?
What about her?
Well, nothing. I just wondered if you knew anything about her, that's all.
I know she's smart. And hot.
Yeah, she's all right.
What have you got, snow blindness now?
So this is my advice to you. Don't watch crappy creature features more than once every 6 months or so. It's bad for the soul. But anyway, talking about good films is kind of my comfort zone because I've never made a feature-length film before yet, and I don't feel qualified to talk down to something if I've never done it myself. That being said, I can only give an opinion that will hopefully seem valid to somebody, which is why today we're talking about Ice Spiders, my favorite film of 2007. Ice Spiders is truly the Morbius of 2007, or it might be more accurate to say Morbius is the Ice Spiders of 2022.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna freeze my hands off before I get this thing lit.
Yeah, well, you gotta be smarter than the stove.
Ha ha. You know, when we get back to town, I'm gonna find that guy in the camping store and I'm gonna light him up.
I mean, There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, Sunshine, Superbad, Hot Fuzz, Spider-Man 3, Death Proof, Juno, The Darjeeling Limited, Zodiac are all peanuts compared to Ice Spiders.
Mrs. Stewart, it's like this. It's like a slice of pizza, you know?
Pepperoni or sausage?
Right now, I wish it was Hawaiian.
This film is weirdly well known for being a made-for-TV movie and for basically starring nobodies. Well, I say nobodies, but it stars Patrick Muldoon, who starred in such classics as American Satan and MILF Money. Anyone? MILF Money? Oh yeah, he was in Starship Troopers. Good for him. But hey, it's Vanessa Williams.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Doc.
She's pretty well known. She was in Candyman and Candyman, and is a singer from the 90s. She's pretty good. Too bad she's not used well at all and is just basically cast as hot girl character. I mean, she's supposed to be a doctor or whatever, but the whole time she's walking around in very brightly colored clothes, and the camera's constantly making sure her boobs are at least somewhat visible.
Somebody's got some serious explaining to do.
I can't believe you are saying this.
This program saves lives.
So the end justifies the means?
Precisely. And besides, no one else is going to die. If there were another spider in there, it would have attacked us by now, which means they're outside.
I thought spiders didn't like the cold.
Exactly.
So I was never that scared of this movie as a kid. Oh, believe me, I watched it plenty. And by that I mean once and never again till just a few days ago, but it always existed at the back of my mind. Like, oh yeah, those giant spiders were cool. And then I'd get back to whatever I was doing. But spiders or snakes don't bother me. I've always been way more fascinated with them than scared of them. So I always saw this film as the comedic creature feature that it was, but watching it again, I realized this film makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. And by far the scariest part of this film is the
Actors.
I mean, good lord, just within the first 2 or 3 minutes, there are some brutal lines.
This is ridiculous. I'm gonna freeze my hands off before I get this thing lit.
Oh, you gotta be smarter than the stove.
Ha ha.
Hello, Bambi.
Let me see.
It's like they were told to talk like how teenagers write fan fiction, except they're all like 30 years old.
What are we gonna do?
Came up here for a trophy. And that, my friend, is a trophy. Stand still, you son of a...
So the one guy spots an elk and right next to it they see a giant gray spider, which to be honest doesn't look all that bad even for 2007 standards, and they decide to do the only sensible thing in any situation, shoot at it. And of course they get killed in the most hilarious way possible.
Rocky!
But not before one guy slips and falls like a total moron. Like, who falls like that? I know he's supposed to be falling on the snow, but Jesus, he slips on nothing. You can tell the director was like, okay, now fall over. Good job.
Alakablam!
When the other guy dies, the CGI spider is swapped with an honestly pretty creepy looking puppet, and they reuse this throughout the film. And the puppet looks way better than the CGI spiders. I mean, it's only shown for a fraction of a second, but it's still much scarier. Don't forget to drop the phone. Okay, good. Now, I know I've been hard on this scene so far, but honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. It sets up the main monsters and kills off some comedic reliefs who we don't really care too much about. And it sets up the tone for the rest of the film, for the most part. Okay, here's a tip. If this film about giant spiders actually does scare you, just pretend that the spiders are really touch-starved and are looking for a hug. I mean, we find out later that these spiders were grown in a lab. Maybe they're just rebelling because of their daddy issues. Speaking of daddy issues, we meet the first set of assholes on a school bus that supposedly has up-and-coming Olympic athletes on it. And the coach of this group tells the main asshole that he's been slacking on his snowboarding skills and needs to be trained the old-fashioned way.
I am going to the Olympics.
Not the way you've been training, Chad.
Excuse me?
Look, there's 100 guys across this country that would love to take your spot on this team. That's why we're not going to Aspen. For the next 2 weeks, all you're gonna do is ski. That's it. No cell phone, no internet, no cable TV. Just powder.
They talk about how there's no internet up in the mountains.
This sucks. How am I supposed to call anyone?
I'm sure your mommy will be fine without you.
You can email her a love note when we get to the lodge.
Email a love note.
You can email her a love note.
But I find it really hard to pay attention to what's going on in the scene when the whole time I'm trying not to throw up from motion sickness.
This lodge has got the internet, but you're not gonna use it.
I can't believe my dad agreed to this. All the money he puts in this team, we should be going someplace like Aspen, not this dump.
Like, I know you're on a bus, and it's bouncy, but come on. Also, why are star athletes on a school bus? I guess that's why they blacked out the district name on the side. They finally arrive at the Lost Mountain Ski Resort, and they run into Jack Horner?
Coach, you made it! Listen. I know I promised you'd have this place to yourself, but you know some few people came up for the last
No
weekend
sweat.
of the year.
We'll work around the tourists. Man, I'm just happy to be here.
I mean, that would make more sense. Dirk Diggler Jr. is right here. Never mind, the main asshole's name is Chad. Also, Jack Horner basically boils down everything about Chad in 10 seconds.
Chad.
Hey, you're Chad Brown, right? Yeah, I read about you. Nationals last year. Yeah, it was sweet stuff. But didn't Hansen pull out at the last second? Kind of taints the victory when your #1 rival stays home, doesn't it?
Which is a common theme throughout the movie. Same thing happens when we meet our second asshole, Dash.
Yeah, he's my right-hand man. I used to coach him.
Didn't he take the Nationals in '97? That guy killed it in the '90s.
That dude was totally awesome.
You really are working here now.
I'm sorry, do I know you?
You really are Dash Dashel.
Yeah, I thought you died or something.
He looks alive to me.
No, I'm Dash, and I'm still alive. Doesn't feel like it in the morning sometimes, though. Broke my leg in the Olympic trials, and that was it. Lost my sponsors, my school scholarship, car. Team America moved on to find their next hero.
Our last asshole is Vanessa Williams, and her character is Girl.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Doc.
Another busy day at the office?
Another crappy day.
Another crappy day. Oh, and she's smart, but mostly a girl. You know how I can tell she's a girl? It's because she wears pink all the time, because that's what girls do. Anyway, Chad challenges Dash to a ski-off. God, these names.
See you later, old man.
Oh, man.
Dash and Doc flirt for a bit to remind you that they are indeed two human beings talking to each other and not aliens pretending to be humans.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do, too, but, you want to go out to dinner sometime? I could show you my scars.
Oh, thank you.
Followed up by the most heartbreaking death in the whole movie.
hug you, bitch.
So the film just kind of lazily cuts between Doc and Dash finding out about the spiders.
Somebody's got some serious explaining to do.
Who are you talking to? Oopsie, dropped the science paper. But she goes through the facility finding knocked over chairs and phones. And just in case you couldn't figure out that this is where they make the spiders, everyone has a spider screensaver. Ooh, I wonder what they do in this lab. Oh, right, spiders. Okay, good. I forgot. She finds the body of her friend wrapped in the fake spider webs you get at those Spirit Halloween stores. And he tells her that the Black Widow spider is out and is coming back because she's hungry. Uh-oh. So the Widow comes back in the room and Doc tries to hide. And we get a great shot of the Black Widow eating the rest of the other dude that she was snacking on before. Careful, Mrs. Widow, don't want to get asbestos poisoning. But then the dumb bitch drops a spoon and has to run away from it. She ends up trapped in a little room where the spider does its magical superpower of turning into a much scarier puppet. Yes, just smash the buttons in an incoherent manner. That's sure to make the phone work. Wait, how is she still alive? These spiders can jump a pretty big distance. I mean, most spiders can at least jump somewhat, and these are really, really big spiders. I mean, this yellow spider jumped out of a hole to kill this skier, so why couldn't the Black Widow just jump at her? Maybe the yellow spider was a certain type of spider, but like the Widow can't just jump 2 or 3 feet to kill her. I don't know, whatever. So Dash and this new asshole we meet named Rick find out about the hunters from the beginning and how their wives are worried about them.
Supposed to be home last night at the latest. Said their wives would kill them if they missed church this morning. Look, Frank, if you could spare Dash, I'm sure we could find him in a few hours.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, but it's mostly on Grizzly Flats. It's not like we're gonna have to do any mountain climbing.
Hurry back, okay? Because I got a resort to run.
Hey, thanks, Frank. You know, I wouldn't even be asking if all the Rangers weren't out with the flu.
That's okay, but you be careful. Sometimes nature strikes back.
All the Rangers have the flu, huh? Well, it seems like there's a health hazard at your ski resort. Either that or all your Rangers are really good liars, or they're all average liars and you're just extremely gullible. Now Dash and Rick are in a car to find the campers, and we get the most riveting dialogue between the two.
So is your name really Rick?
That's right.
And you are a forest ranger?
Yes.
So wouldn't that make you Ranger Rick?
You think a guy with a name like Dash would be a little more sensitive to funny names?
Yeah, you think so, wouldn't you?
Ooh, yeah, that's good stuff right there. So they traverse the side of the mountain looking for these bozos, and Dash ends up finding one of them and sends up a flare to Ranger Rick. They trap themselves inside the spider's nest, and Ranger Rick freaks out, and Dash becomes the straight man in this situation. Also, this may be the worst editing in this whole film.
Spiders do not come out in the winter, Rick. And even if they did, they couldn't cover up a whole human being like that.
Yeah, it's getting cold out here, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's time to head back.
Yeah.
And now Rick is killed by the green spider. And he's killed like, you know when your cringe friend lures you onto the dance floor by pulling you with an invisible rope? I say that like that's what happens in real life, but you get the idea.
No! Dash, come on!
I got you, hang on!
No!
Now Ranger Rick is dead. Oh no, whoopsie.